Okay, so let's look at this worksheet. So what type of nutrients would we find in wheat bread? Yeah. So the major nutrient molecule that would be absorbed by the blood, that's small enough to be absorbed, what's the smallest carbohydrate? Monosaccharides. Monosaccharides. Glucose is the main one. But if there's other monosaccharides present in that bread, we're going to absorb those as well. But they have to be monosaccharides, the smallest units. Turkey breast, amino acids, and butter. Well, it's made of fat, but what can we actually absorb? Yep, fatty acids, and what's the other component? Glycerol. Yep, glycerol. The opening to and from a gastric gland is called a gastric pit. Gastric pit. The structure that can be observed microscopically that helps identify the small intestine is a finger-like extension called a villi or villus, if you're talking about one. So the esophagus and the rectum have abrasion occurring. If you have a hard stool that's passing through the rectum, it needs the same protection out of the mucosal wall as the esophagus does. So what type of tissue would we see in the rectum as well as the esophagus? Yep, stratified squamous epithelium. That malt tissue, what do we call that? Malt tissue that we see in the intestinal tract, especially in the ileum, where there's bacterial count increases in the ileum. As we get, the ileum is the end of the small intestine right before the large intestine, so the bacterial count increases a lot inside of that lumen. So we need these special immune structures called Peyer's patches. Yes, Peyer's patches. So single-celled glands, so one little cell, it's within a cell, they produce mucus, located within the mucosa of the small and large intestine. They increase in number along the tract, are called goblet cells. Yep, goblet cells. And then we have exocrine organs. We have the salivary, what type of glands? Alveolar glands, and the ducts. And then we have the pancreatic, what are they called? These are exocrine, so that means they're not endocrine. So they're the acini or acinar. Acini, it's more than one, so A-C-I-N-I. I should look that up and make sure I'm pronouncing that right. I always think that when I teach it, and then I never look it up. Isn't there like an app where you can pronounce things? Someone can look that up for me, that would be great. The liver and its associated ducts are called, well, we have the organs are the hepatic duct, is what we call we don't call it a bile duct, we call it a hepatic duct, and hepatocytes. Hepatic duct, hepatocytes. And then what do we call the tiny little vessels leading to the hepatic duct? Canaliculi, the bile canaliculi. 4 veins that send nutrient-rich blood toward from the small intestine, large intestine toward the liver. We have the superior and inferior mesenteric veins. What do we call the vein from the stomach? The veins from the stomach are the, yep, gastric veins. And then the larger vein from the spleen, splenic vein. No, because it's going toward the liver. Well, I mean, Nah, that's number 9, actually. So superior and inferior mesenteric vein, gastric vein, and splenic vein. And then number 9, all venous blood draining enters the liver by passing through the, Rachel, hepatic portal vein. Yes, hepatic portal vein. And then blood entering the liver is distributed to those little units. Each unit is called a liver, starts with the L, it's the hexagons, lobules, yeah, liver lobules. Oxygen-rich blood is also delivered, like I said, to the hepatocytes. They need blood. That blood arrives on many branches of the hepatic artery, right? The hepatic artery supplies fresh blood to the liver to keep it alive. So the next couple questions are looking at the different enzymes that act in the digestive system. And you have that diagram in your lab packet. And there's also, I think, a really nice diagram. I actually put it in the lecture notes as an extra handout. It's on page 901 in the new textbook, figure 23.34. I printed that off for you. So dietary protein is first digested in the stomach by the action of do you see it in your table? I don't want to lose my, what did I download it? I think I downloaded it though, didn't I? Yes, that is correct. Pepsin. Here it is. Okay. So if you go to Learning Modules, into the Digestive folder, Lecture, I have this flow chart. It's from your textbook. So this is a great thing to print off with your PowerPoint notes for reference and studying for sure as well. So I'll just put that away for now. Okay, so dietary protein is by the action of pepsin. Digestion continues in the, what's the next spot? The duodenum. The duodenum. Or you could say small intestine, if you want to be more general. Starch is acted on immediately in the oral cavity by what enzyme? Amylase. Yep, amylase. And that's all on page 901 of your textbook. So then completion of carbohydrate digestion occurs in the small intestine by smaller enzymes contained in pancreatic juice and by disaccharidases. So where do we see disaccharidases and sucrase and lactase? In the small intestine, which are part of the brush border of the mucosal epithelium lining the small intestine. Remember I said the microvilli of each individual simple columnar cell, we call them brush border. So for optimal digestion, dietary fats must be processed before digestion by enzyme action. What is the process that prepares it for optimal digestion? What do we call that? To go back to your, whoops. Emulsification, very good, emulsification. What page did you find that on in your packet? Page 48, thank you. Oh, it's in the chart, yeah, that works too. What liver product accomplishes this process? Bile. What part of the alimentary canal receives this product? Where is bile secreted to? The duodenum. The alimentary canal is referring to the digestive tract, so the duodenum. So now looking at the different cells, we talked about this already. The acinar cell secretes digestive enzymes, serves to chemically digest, right? Food molecules, so chemical digestion. Pancreatic, the acinar cells, I'm looking at 15A. They secrete digestive enzymes. So it's saying name the specific chemical substance. So digestive enzymes serve to chemically digest food in the small intestine. Beta cells, what's the chemical substance from a beta cell? Insulin serves to, what does it do to blood sugar? Raise it or lower it? Lowers blood sugar. And what do we get from the salivary alveolar gland? Amylase. Amylase serves to digest specifically starch. And number 16, that phagocyte that resides in the liver sinusoids, helping with the immune system attack. Kupffer cells. Any questions on the lab worksheet? All right.